my close personal friends, Shane and Ilya, hire me to shoot their elopement, this is the day I'd create for them. As far as guests go, I definitely think they would elope just the two of them. These men did not spend all that time being emotionally constipated just to invite 40 people to watch them make eye contact. Since it'll be just the two of them, they'll need somewhere dramatic and private and also a little bit emotionally loaded. So after doing some location scouting, I would recommend them having their elopement at a remote luxury lodge in the Canadian Rockies, somewhere specifically near Banff. Shane is grounded, controlled, dependable, and very not interested in theatrics for the sake of theatrics. Ilya is more intense, passionate, emotional under the surface, and would absolutely want a setting that feels like the moment. And I think the Canadian Rockies split that difference perfectly. For their color palette, I would pick midnight blue, this pine green color, some ivory, charcoal, amber, those kinds of tones. It needs to feel deep, moody, and masculine and expensive without looking over-designed. I think he'd be perfect in a tailored black suit like this one. Very classic, very clean, nothing trendy. Shane would want to look good, but he would not want to spend 10 years talking about fashion details. He would want it sharp, timeless, and just done. For Ilya, this is where we get a little bit more drama. Still tailored, still elegant, but richer. Maybe like a dark midnight suit with subtle texture, or a black double-breasted tux with a little bit more shape. Just enough edge that when they stand next to each other, you can feel the difference immediately, but Shane would be more classic and Ilya would be like a little bit more dangerous, as he should. For something a little extra special for the two of them, I think they would get their rings engraved with the date they first met. Not their wedding date, even though that's special. I think that choosing their date they first met kind of feels exactly like the sentimental choice they would never tell anyone about, and it would just be something extra special for the two of them. As far as florals go, I would definitely recommend keeping them minimal for them. A few grounded arrangements with maybe like some white orchids and dark greenery, or like black centered anemones, maybe a deep burgundy ranunculus if you really want a little softness. But if anything, I would suggest a minimal circle installation where they would be saying their vows, something along these lines. But mostly I would just recommend them letting the landscape do the work. With the mountains in the background, I think that'll just be chef's kiss all on its own. After their sunset vows, they would head back to the lodge for a private chef dinner. Candles everywhere, super moody, dark, elegant. As a photographer, I love when my couples incorporate things that are personal to their relationship into their elopement, and I think we would do that here with dinner. For dinner, they would start with a tiny elevated version of a tuna melt, something like a crisp brioche toast with confit tuna, melted aged cheddar or Gruyere, a little sharp pickle element, and maybe a tiny soup shooter on the side. That keeps the emotional DNA of the tuna melt, but keeping it elevated. For drinks, you would have a ginger lime spritzer, kind of like this one, obviously. And for the main, I would do a handmade pasta, maybe a fresh tagliatelle or agnolotti with brown butter, roasted mushrooms, parmesan, maybe a little black pepper too, or even a slow braised short pepper deli would be like chef's kiss. Then I'd finish with something dark and simple for dessert, like a warm chocolate torte or a dark chocolate budino with some sea salt. That sounds amazing. I could also see them doing a single tier chocolate cake though, with maybe like a matte frosting and minimal texture. I do not see them doing like a classic white little frosted cake. Honestly, that just kind of seems illegal for them. As far as their honeymoon goes, I would personally send them to Japan. Part 1 would be a quiet ryokan in the mountains, and part 2 would be in Tokyo. I just think that they need privacy and time to decompress, but they also need somewhere that still feels special and memorable to them. The ryokan gives them that special intimacy and like soft emotional space that they're just never willing to create on purpose, while Tokyo gives them amazing food, structure, energy, and just something that's a little bit more alive. Anyway, Jacob Tierney, call me when you're ready for Shane and Ilya wedding episode, and whose elopement should I design next?